loves. Welcome back to the Balanced Blonde podcast, Soul on Fire, where we talk to guests about what sets their souls on fire. And honestly, we just have deep life chats that take us in whatever direction the conversation feels like going. So that's definitely what we did today with the beautiful Jeannette Ogden of Shut the KALE Up. She's a returning guest on the show. She was actually my 15th guest overall, which aired on January 25th, 2017. So that's pretty crazy to look at because just exactly 2 years and 2 weeks later, we sat down to have this conversation where you guys are going to learn so much about her. She's so fabulous, and I feel like you guys already know that. So if you don't follow Jeannette on Instagram, she's Shut the KALE Up. So you should definitely follow her there. And I truly believe what makes Jeannette so interesting and sets her apart from a lot of other Instagram influencers is that she shares from a place of deep love in her heart, and she's very real. That's honestly the best word that I can use to describe her. She lets you into her heart and to her family's life and just shares from a place that I think everybody can relate to, even if they haven't been through exactly what she's talking about. She just shares from a place of reality, which is very rare on Instagram these days. But you can definitely find some incredible people out there, Jeannette being one of them. And I'm excited for you guys to listen to this conversation. If you want to learn more about her early life and some things that she's overcome in her family and her inspiration to start Shut the KALE Up, you can listen to her first episode on this show, episode 15. Just head back in iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're listening, and you can listen there. Because today is much more of a catch-up episode. When I have people back on the show for a second time or a third time, we just talk and hang, and we answered a lot of questions from you guys that you sent in on Instagram. So I hope that if you sent one in, you got your question answered, and that's awesome because I really just want us all to feel like we're hanging out. Because we are, and that's what makes this community so special. So, as promised in this conversation with Jeannette, I looked up her birth chart. She gave me her info after she left, and she is a Virgo sun, which she knew, very grounded, Virgos can be very hard-headed, grounded, so many amazing things. And she is an Aquarius moon, which I love. I love everything Aquarius so much. And she's a Virgo rising. So she's a double Virgo. That definitely accounts for a lot of her grounded nature, earthiness, all that good stuff. And as we discussed in the conversation, she's a manifesting generator, human design, which should not be that shocking to people who have seen what she has manifested and created in her life. So I really hope you love this conversation and feel like you were just here hanging out with us with Jeannette, myself, AJ, and Hudson, because AJ and Hudson were off hanging out while we were having this conversation. And I did want to remind you guys that if you're inspired to rate and review the show in iTunes, I'm sending out my Soul on Fire yoga ebook, 400 pages of yoga flow, Sanskrit glossary, my yoga journey, and so much more as a free gift to everyone who rates and reviews the show. So send me a screenshot to jordan@thebalancedblonde.com if you're able to rate and review, and I will send you that Soul on Fire yoga ebook. Very excited for you guys to check it out if you haven't already. And also wanted to let you know you can join our Soul on Fire podcast tribe on Facebook to keep the conversation going if you want to hang out and talk about the episodes and meet friends from all over the world. People in our group have meetups in different cities and have made friends, and some have even started podcasts together. So that always makes me really happy. So head over there to join on Facebook, Soul on Fire Podcast Tribe. And before we dive into this episode with Jeannette, I wanted to thank our brand new sponsor, which I'm so excited to share. I love discovering new brands and sharing them with you guys, especially when I feel like they're cutting edge and doing something really different than a lot of other brands are doing. And I can definitely say that about this brand. This brand is Gem Daily Essentials for Women. So this is a real food vitamin. Basically, like imagine a multivitamin, but it's food, and it's not only food, it's made of 13 real ingredients from quinoa to chlorella to red algae to chickpeas to spirulina. The list goes on. Ashwagandha, mushrooms, chia seeds, basically things that I try to eat every day, all the time anyway, but in one little bite that you pop into your mouth instead of taking a vitamin. So first, before I get deeper into it, I want to tell you about the offer that they have for our tribe. You can go to dailygem.co/balancedblonde and use the code balancedblonde for 50% off the first month of your subscription. So they also have free shipping. So it's an extra good deal. And that's dailygem as in gemstone, gem.co/balancedblonde. So a little more about them. They're all vegan, gluten-free, soy-free, corn-free, sustainably sourced, made in the USA, algae powered since they're vegan, and have absolutely nothing synthetic, no fillers, no colorants. They believe wholeheartedly in plant-based ingredients, mostly algae, very minimally processed, completely whole foods. Everything is ethically and sustainably sourced. Everything's organic and non-GMO whenever possible. And they're the only soy, corn, wheat, and animal-free daily essential that you can take. So I feel like the thing that a lot of people don't know is that so many women are lacking certain nutrients in their diet and the absorption of certain nutrients in their body. So that's why I believe in taking vitamins and supplements and minerals, especially after suffering with my own health and realizing that I was deficient in so many things. So I've been taking this Daily Gem Real Food Bite now for, I want to say, 2 weeks, and I've noticed having more energy. My skin has been really radiating. My stress has been low. And that's also just a lifestyle thing. I mean, I feel like this company would be the first to say there's no one size fits all pill or vitamin that's going to completely make you happy and balanced and energized and radiating from the inside out, but it's a lifestyle thing. And this is such a great thing that you can add into your lifestyle to live your healthiest, most nutrient dense life. So go to dailygem.co/balancedblonde to try it out and use that code balancedblonde for 50% off. I know you guys will enjoy it. It tastes delicious and it is so good for you. So without further ado, thank you, Gem, for sponsoring the show. Let's dive into this episode with Jeannette. All right, Jeannette, I'm so happy that you're here.
Hello.
Hi. So we had you on the show 2 years ago.
I can't believe time has flown by.
Can you believe?
Fast.
Gosh, time goes so fast. So you were about, I want to say like the 10th guest on the show.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Something like that, 10th or 12th. We can find out and put it in the show notes. So you have a lot of life updates for us. So many things have happened in the last couple years. So before we get into the questions, give us a brief update on where your life has taken you in the last 2 years.
Gosh, it's so crazy. I feel like 2 years ago, we were living in our little spot that AJ and I first moved into when we got married, and we had Elliot. He was about 1.
Yeah, he was little.
Yeah, I remember I was sitting on our living room and just talking to you through the computer.
Yeah,
we were
through Skype.
FaceTiming. Yeah. And so much has changed. I'm now pregnant with our second.
So exciting.
And he's a boy. So excited. I feel so blessed to be able to carry another little healthy boy. Literally just left the doctor's office and, did that whole thing, but I'm
Yes.
grateful he's thriving. And so that's happened. We've moved to a bigger space, but I will say I miss our little spots so much. I I know at that time of our lives we were just wanting a bigger place because our second bedroom was downstairs, and that was Elliot's room, but we never had the heart to like put him down there because it got really cold.
Mm.
And we did everything upstairs, like our living room and kitchen, and our bedroom was up there. Luckily, we co-slept for very long. So he was totally good, but we needed an extra room. And we moved to a bigger place. We're super grateful for it, but we're definitely ready to move back to our old little city where all of our friends and communities at.
Yeah. So you were living in what part
Costa
of
Mesa,
So Costa Mesa, and then you moved to
Irvine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
We're moving back to Costa Mesa.
That
We
makes
miss it.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's your community.
Totally.
Your friends.
Yes,
all your
everything's there. And
Yeah.
sometimes we drive a little bit more than we want to, and there's traffic on the freeway all the time. And we take the toll roads a lot of the time. And, it makes sense for us to be back. And I'm grateful we tried Irvine because we wanted to buy in Irvine, but we thought, let's try it for a year, see how we like it. Luckily, we know now that we just want to be back. And I wish we can like pick up our home that we rent and drop it in Costa Mesa because it's so beautiful and we love it, but that's not going to happen. And we're trying to find something that suits us in Costa Mesa, but it's so hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard.
And that's really good advice. I'm glad you said that about you're so glad that you didn't buy.
Right.
Just because maybe like the opportunity seemed right. I feel like it's always so smart to just try out the neighborhood first
Exactly.
and see if it feels like a fit. Especially so many different people who listen to this podcast are around our age and kind of in that flow of like, do I want to buy a place? Do I want to rent a place?
And the market's so damn high right now.
It's
Like
crazy.
it's so expensive. And we want to make sure that we love our place that we're at. And again, we did not like Irvine and we wanted to move there because it was a safer neighborhood, good schools, great playgrounds for Elliot. But man, there's no community there. I've only seen my neighbor through our little camera out front, our Nest Cam, and no one really talks there. And trust me, Elliot and I are out all the time. And when I try to start conversations, people are just very like, they keep to themselves. And that's okay. But I love being out and meeting new moms and friends, and I'm very chatty.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And especially when you're out and about with a toddler, like you
Right.
want to make friends with the other moms and friends for your kids.
Yes.
I'm glad you guys have a community
We do.
that you're going back
We're so
to
grateful.
and that you're still close to, like
Oh,
in
yeah.
proximity.
Yeah.
So expecting baby number 2 is very exciting. And I just want to know more about that process. Like, what did it feel like finding out? And what did it feel like finding out that you're having another boy?
Oh
If you
my
could tell
gosh.
us
Yes, of
about
course.
this.
So we had just came back from our family vacation in Hawaii that we were very fortunate to take. We were just enjoying it, and I was feeling a little off. I felt like my sleep wasn't like usual. I was having trouble sleeping, and I thought maybe the time change, but I had insomnia, and I haven't had insomnia for years. And then nipples started getting a little darker. I know that's a little graphic, but when you're
And
pregnant,
interesting.
things change, and that's one thing I was like, AJ, these looking a little darker than usual. And he's like, yeah, kind of. And that kind of gave me a red flag. Also, I had just gotten my period back for just 1 month.
Wow.
And yeah, I 100% believe my acupuncturist got it back because my hormones were way off. I was still breastfeeding Elliot, and I couldn't get my period back because of lack of body fat and also just hormones. Again, when you're breastfeeding a child for 3 years, it's like your body's like, okay, where are we going here?
Yeah.
So I only got 1 period and then I missed it. I was like a week late and I thought, okay, maybe it's gone. I don't know. Who knows? And when I got back home, we literally had a day because we came back from Hawaii one day. The next day we were leaving to New York on our not honeymoon, on our anniversary
Oh,
trip.
yeah. And I was there at the same time. You guys remember
Yes.
that? We like missed each
Yeah, we
other
totally
at like the
did.
same restaurants and
I
things. But I love
know.
that we were both there.
I'm so bummed we didn't get to
I
hang out.
know.
But the day in between, I took a test just to see. And mind you, I had taken tests before because I knew I was ovulating and there was, we wanted another baby, but it always said negative. And we were okay with that. We knew that our time was going to come. This time I knew for sure it would say negative. But I looked at it and like it was so fast. Like the test was just like boom, 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 positive.
Oh, it was like,
And I
yes,
was
this
like,
is a yes.
what? And I literally yelled. I was like, no way. And AJ was like, what happened in there? And he's like, wait a minute. No, are you serious? And I came out with the little test and he took it. And he's like, oh my gosh, we're having a baby.
That's so
We were both very
exciting.
shocked, but
Yeah.
so surprised and in a good way.
Yeah.
With Elliot, it was a little different because he was definitely like, oh, what are we going to do? But, we wanted a second and I feel like babies are such a blessing and most people, don't get to do what I'm doing, having 2 babies. And I really do think that that's such a blessing.
It is. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
And
Thank
then
you.
I know I asked you guys this when you got here, but what was it like finding out that you're having another boy?
I knew. I just knew. I mean, this baby's definitely different from Elliot, 100%. The way I've felt with Elliot and with this little baby, we already have a name, so I don't want to say his name on accident.
Right.
But it's like night and day. I mean, with Elliot, I was still able to teach yoga like 4 times a day, 5 days a week. And
whoa,
yeah,
that is intense.
Oh yeah.
First of all.
And I got, my morning sickness went away at like 9, 10 weeks. I was feeling like super normal with this little baby. I was sick all day long. Morning sickness isn't just in the morning, by the way. It can be all day long. And that's what I had. It was all day for 13, 14 weeks. I will say I started feeling better at like 12, 13 weeks, but it didn't fully go away till like 14. And that was a long, long time. And I just felt so sad because when you're feeling ill, you don't think the same. You just think like, gosh, I'm stuck at home. I can't play with my toddler. And it almost feels selfish saying that because again, it's a true miracle that women get to carry babies. But nonetheless, we were so excited. AJ thought we were having a girl, but I told him the odds are, all boys because both of our families are just boy dominant. So I knew, and it was so sweet. We did like a little reveal. It wasn't anything like you see on Instagram or like, the big movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
I love the way you guys did it. I saw your video.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just my friend Jenny. She really wanted us to have a reveal and we were all about it. And then we had Elliot and my mom and we didn't tell anyone else. Like it was just us.
Oh my God.
It was really sweet.
So your friend handed Elliot the balloons. Is that how it went?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were blue?
Yeah. My doctor sent my friend Jenny a text saying what he or she was. And
it's so fun.
Yeah.
I loved watching that video and seeing both of your reactions.
I didn't want to look.
I know. I bet. I mean, it's just such a defining moment of your life.
Either way.
You're going to be happy.
You win.
Totally. But you're going to have 2 little boys. It's very exciting.
I'm so excited. Elliot's he's going to be such a great big brother.
Totally. Oh, he's so cute. So switching gears a little bit. So when we spoke together on a panel a few weeks ago, something that you said really stuck with me, which was kind of how you run your Instagram account and your business, and that you first consider yourself a stay-at-home mom who
Right.
has an Instagram. And I love that because I feel like you don't have that like trying too hard type of vibe because that's literally not what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, I don't try at all. That's why sometimes, business wise, it gets a little difficult because, you got to try, you got to do it. And
Right.
it's not that I don't try, it's just my priorities is my family, my boy, home, doing the things that I need to do as a wife and a mom. And I'm very, very present with Elliot, especially now that he's like older and he talks and we conversate. And I just want him to grow up to be a thriving little boy, that gets to go outside and plays and does things that stimulate his brain and things like that.
Yeah, I love that. And I just have to say from like a business perspective, I think that's good. I think
Thank
people
you.
really relate to you because you share your life and your photos are very much like in the moment. And
Yeah.
I mean, my opinion on that is Instagram started to be like that, to be instant gram, like the photos of you living your life.
Right.
And you really have built a brand off of that in the moment authenticity. And I think it really shines.
Thank
So
you.
I don't think you need to think about doing anything differently, really.
Thank you. I actually can't stand the word authentic anymore because I feel
Mhm.
like it's just
Did
been
I use that word just now?
I mean, I'm not
Well, no,
saying
I
you,
know.
but
I'm just wondering if it just.
yeah, like authentically. It's just I feel like so many people use it now on Instagram and I don't see that from a whole lot of people anymore.
It's lost its meaning.
It has. And I'm not saying that I'm this authentic real human, but I don't really follow, the trends and the things and then this and that or what everyone else is talking about. I need to talk about it too because it's in. I just do what I do since the beginning when I first started Instagram. And yeah, it's how I share my life. And again, I've always said this, but if I'm not sharing it on Instagram, it's exactly how I'm living my life, regardless. But I have the platform that, these people have given me that I'm able to do that. And I feel so grateful for it. And I'm not gonna bullshit them, I'm gonna be very honest and they're my friends, they're my community. I don't want to like fall into the trap of Instagram's a weird world.
Mhm.
I love personal connections. I love being able to like look at people's eyes and talk to them and conversate and not just be on my phone all day long. Mind you, I am an Instagrammer,
Right.
but I do my best to I I know when to get off of my phone. I know when to get on, and I just think real relationships are what's really all about.
I agree. It's
Yeah.
so healthy to be able to know when
Yeah.
to get off. And
Absolutely.
I think just a note to everybody listening, them hearing that from someone like you who has built a brand and a business on Instagram and you know when to get off and
Yeah.
live your life and be present with the people in your life. I think
Totally.
that's very inspiring to everybody listening.
Thank
So
you.
I hope everyone can take a little nugget from that journey because I often hear influencers, like quote unquote, because I don't like
Oh my
that
gosh,
word.
please
Speaking of
can I
words,
finish your sentence?
yes, please.
Digital detoxes?
Oh my God, yes, that. I mean, all of it. Like I it things start to lose their meaning
I
and
know. Trust
I
me, I know.
okay, that, but I also hear people saying on a totally different side of the coin than digital detoxes. I hear people saying if you want to grow a business, like you have to be on social media constantly and like you
Right.
have to do this and you have to do this. And I think you're a very clear example that that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
It's just everyone's different and everyone's voice is very different. And I think a lot of the time on Instagram, you hear the same voice, but not the same face. I mean, or multiple faces to I don't know if I'm making any sense, but you see one Instagram post, you see another, and they
and you
hear
can't
and
differentiate from like
it's
who is who.
right, right. So in that sense, it's like, okay, but what are you passionate about? Not asking what the other person's passionate about. Like, what are you really passionate about? You should talk about those things on Instagram. You should talk about the things that are going on in your life because you are unique. You are, your own person. And you don't necessarily have to talk about all these trends or you guys, I need to get off Instagram, like digital detox. Like that's for people who really, really struggle. And I get that people do struggle with that. I remember in the beginning, actually, I never really struggled with being on my phone all the time. I've always learned to be able to manage like being off, being on, But now more than ever, I feel like I've been off and I don't really like care for detoxes. I think it should be a good balance and moderation in all things, not just your phone, food, relationships. It should really feel what feels natural to you,
Yeah.
right?
I couldn't possibly agree more. Okay, let's talk about something that I am absolutely obsessed with, and I think a lot of you guys are too, as far as I know, and that is CBD. So, CBD is something that I use for everything from sleep to anxiety to anti inflammatory to a natural pain reliever. If I feel really anxious, I'll take some CBD. If I have pain, which I've had so much of lately, which we can talk about later, I use CBD and it helps so much. So today we have the amazing sponsor, Ned, and they are offering our audience quite the deal on all of their CBD products. And you can find them at helloned.com/balanced and use the code balanced at checkout to get a nice big discount on all of their products, which range from CBD oils that I'm absolutely obsessed with for sleep to body butters, which is what I would recommend using if you have pain in a certain area in your body. I also have my dad use it for his arthritis that's gotten really bad. And the only thing that seems to help him is CBD. There's absolutely no THC in it, so you don't have to worry about getting high if that's not your thing. So it's really just CBD and MCT oil. So that's the oil. And then the body butters are made of amazing, organic, whole, natural ingredients. And I think a lot of you know that my favorite thing about this company is that they speak loving words into their products while they're making them. So they infuse them with positive affirmations, happy vibes, and incredible other feelings so that when you receive this product at your home, you feel all those good vibes as well. And I'm a huge believer in energy, so that's really important to me. There's absolutely nothing synthetic in this product, of course, because if there was, then it wouldn't be something that I was talking about. You guys know that. You can always trust that my recommendations are completely natural, always organic, always kind people behind the company. That's really important to me and has been ever since I started blogging and podcasting 6 years ago. Holy crap. So go to helloned.com/balanced and use the code balanced to get 15% off of your order and tell me what your favorite products are when you try. I tried to do a digital detox when I was in the midst of being so sick. I was
Yeah.
like, what can I do to eliminate a
Stress.
big part of my life, which is work, which is social media?
Right.
I tried a digital detox and I can't even say I did one because it didn't really work for me because I just got the sense like I'm being too extreme with this by trying to take a month or 2 months or whatever off of something that I do every day. Instead of doing that, I would rather just hop on for like 10 minutes a day and check in and like do
Right.
it when I feel inspired. So my digital detox, quote unquote, turned into more of like oh, I'm figuring out how to have some balance with this
Yeah.
and not letting it stress me out and not doing as many partnerships as I was doing and not feeling the need to respond to every single message and finding my own balance with it. So I'm totally with you. Detoxes of any kind are
Yeah.
not always necessary. I
For
mean,
me, at least,
for
because everyone's
each
different.
person,
Right.
totally. Everybody's different. So, with your business, you're looking to expand this year off of Instagram and do some different
Yes.
things. Tell us what you're up to.
Well, nothing's set in stone, but like I was saying, that personal relationships are it's something that I want to work towards, and that being going around a few of my favorite cities to have events and host
Mm,
things, and be able to meet this community that has given me a voice. I really do feel like I owe it to my friends, and to go out there and just to meet, give them a hug, and talk about all things, and not just, hey, you guys, we're going to do A, B, C. No, let's talk about real life stuff. Let's all get together, because so many of us struggle or have struggled. And, I personally just want to get the love out and continue having community, but also creating relationships outside of just like, I came to see Jeannette. No, now you get to meet other friends in the same community, and you guys get to have more friends than you already did. And the people who follow me for whatever reason, but they all have something in common in why they follow me. And I think it's really special when I host little events and friendships become, available,
I
because
love
it's like,
that.
oh, well, I follow her too. Let's talk. Like, so what are you doing? Or where do you work? I've seen that happen, and it just makes me so happy. Gotten some DMs also where someone's watching my story. This girl actually messaged me not too long ago, but she's like, hey, I was looking at your stories at a bar while I was waiting for a friend. And this girl came behind me and was like, oh my gosh, I follow Shut the Kale Up too.
That's
And they
such
started
a cool
talking.
story.
It literally warms my heart, because sometimes I don't feel like anyone's listening or watching. And,
Right.
it's really special when people have the time to like look through your stories, read your captions, e- even talk about me with their friends or family. Like that's major to me.
It
I
is.
feel like that's something that no one else can like give you. And I find that to be really special. So I want to be able to go out there and create more communities within this community. So I want to do that. I also am going to be relaunching my blog and rebranding, all that good stuff. So that way people have access to everything they usually ask about. And to just make it easier on them, I want to be able to help and explain everything I do and why I do it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I really am.
I love all of that. I think
Thank you.
the events is such a cool direction to move in. And like you said, it's the community. It brings people
Right.
together and gives them new friendships. And
Yeah,
that's my
absolutely.
favorite thing by far about blogging and podcasting and any of it is like the friendships that blossom because people don't always have like-minded friendships in their life. And
Right.
if you can be the catalyst of like two people who are interested in health and holistic healing and wellness and all of it, then it's very cool.
Yeah, I really do think that too. So I'm excited for all the things this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a big year for you. And you're due in
July.
July. Oh, yeah. You said you're having most likely a
A
cancer.
cancer,
And you
yeah.
said AJ's a cancer.
Mhm. And I
And
love cancers.
I love cancers too. My
Cancers are
mom's a
so sweet.
cancer. Like a lot of my favorite people
Mhm.
are cancers. When's your birthday?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, you're a Virgo.
True Virgo.
You're very earthy.
Yeah.
And what else are components of Virgo?
Grounding. OCD. I'm not as OCD as I used to be after having Elliot, to be honest. And not organized. I feel like AJ is very organized and I'm not anymore. I
Yeah.
used to be, but after having Elliot, it's just like,
It's hard.
okay, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah. Do you know like your moon sign and your rising signs?
I don't. I
Do you
haven't
know what
gotten
time
into.
you were born?
Yes, I was born at 7:23 on a Thursday morning.
Okay. So after we finish this, I'm going to look it up and we'll find, because people who listen to this podcast, like myself, are super interested in moon signs,
so
rising
into it.
signs, human design. Have you heard of human
Oh,
design?
yeah. I'm a manifester.
Oh, you're a manifester. Oh my God.
I'm a mix, a manifester.
Oh.
And AJ, do you remember my other one?
You'd be a manifesting generator.
There we go. That's exactly what it is.
That's the only mix that exists. So there's 5 types. There's manifesting generator, manifester, generator, reflector, and projector. So
Elliot's a generator.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Manifesting generator.
I just did this with Lacey Phillips, actually.
You
and she
did?
asked me.
Okay,
yeah.
of course.
And so she looked it up.
Yeah, of course. Lacey and I are similarly obsessed with human design. She's a projector.
She's amazing.
She's so amazing. So the fact that you're a manifesting generator means so much for like how you run your business and how you live your life. And you can manifest kind of like whatever you're passionate about and turn it into something really special for people. So you really are living your design.
Yeah, I feel like I am, even though I didn't know what that was before Lacey Phillips.
Exactly.
I really do feel that way.
There's
I feel
a lot.
very grateful for that.
Yeah. I should have you talk to Jenna, who's like Lacey and myself's friend. She's been on this podcast multiple times, so people know, but she's a human design chart reader. And she could give you so much cool info.
I'm so into that.
Okay, we'll set it up. She's coming to LA on Friday. I'm going to be gone like the whole time she's here, sadly. But you guys should definitely meet.
Yeah.
That just excites me. She can teach you so much about your design.
So awesome.
Learning about my human design has completely changed everything about my life. I'll have to tell you more about it when we're not doing this. But to continue on, because we have so many great questions for you from our Instagram community. So let's see what people wanted to hear.
Yes.
This was a really cool question, actually. What is the biggest misconception about you? If there is one.
You know, I don't think I have one. Misconception. I mean,
like if people follow you and assume something about you.
I mean, people assume so many things and I'm okay with it. I remember someone saying that a while ago that I was a terrible mom. Of course, mom shamers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know for what reason, but I was okay with it. I was like, okay, cool. You can assume that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm the mom that God created me to be for Elliot, because Elliot is just the sweetest soul. And I'm not going to say I'm such a great mom, because I know that I wish I would have done things a little bit different in certain areas, but now I know. And how else am I supposed to learn? You know, I'm first time mom now carrying her second child. I know what I want to do this time around, or I have more of an idea, but like, who really knows until you have the baby and you're able to go through those trials and, you know,
like, exactly.
That's how one learns to grow and experience things.
That is so true. Well, I love hearing that. If there are misconceptions about you, you're not very concerned about them, which is the best way to be, especially when you have a very public life.
Yeah.
Inviting in opinions, and it's good just to
constructive criticism.
Yeah, to stay unaffected. Constructive criticism can be helpful.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Another great question. What career would you choose if you were not a blogger?
A teacher, 100%.
Ooh. What age range?
I went to school for child development for like a semester. I wanted to be a preschool or a kindergarten teacher for young kids.
Totally,
I love kids.
That. I can totally see that.
Yeah, I just feel like teachers have the ability to shape and form, you know, these kids' minds into such positivity. And some kids don't have love and affection and, parents who are available to them because they're working parents and they have busy schedules or whatnot. And when they go to school, they look up to this person. And I think it's so special. They hold a lot of responsibility. And I always thought that I could be that person to, a little boy or girl and give them just my love by being their teacher.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just having that conversation with a friend of mine who's a preschool teacher, and she was just saying how this bond develops that's so beyond
Yeah. I can
anything
only
else when they
imagine.
get older because you're like one of the few people in their life who you're just this total figure who they see every day, who
Yeah,
teaches them things and takes care of them.
totally.
So cool. I love that. How do you stay motivated to work out while pregnant?
Man, this is a tough question because I am just that person that just goes, goes, goes. I love
Because
it.
you're a manifesting generator,
Exactly.
which is so nice that you have that.
It's a part of me. I love waking up and going and moving my body, not for looks, but the way it forms my mind for the day. It helps me set the tone. It helps me to have energy. It makes me feel like myself. So pregnancy throws you a curveball, and makes you not feel like yourself. And you obviously, you're carrying this little baby, so you have to understand kind of certain days just it doesn't happen. I won't go to the gym. Like this morning, Elliot crawled into bed like 4 a.m. and he was sleeping next to me and AJ was sleeping right next to him. And I was like, I'm not going to go. I'm just going to sleep in and hang out with my boys before I have to have a busy day up here in LA. And it wasn't because, oh, I'm lazy or I'm unmotivated. It was because I wanted to just stay in bed with my
Right.
boys. There are days where I don't feel motivated. And I think that those days are the days that I need to go and push my mind. And
Mhm.
there are days where I feel exhausted. And that's when I know that my body just needs rest. But for the most part, I love working out, especially at the gym I go to. It really speaks to me on a different level, not just, oh, I'm lifting weights, I'm burning calories. It's definitely not
Mhm.
about that anymore.
Yeah, it's a stress reliever, it's
Totally.
community, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's so much fun. And the community there is amazing. It's an incredible community.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So where is it for people who don't know?
It's the 12 movement and it's in Costa Mesa.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is that still pretty close to where you are in Irvine?
No.
Oh, so you
I
drive.
drive.
Wow, that's
It
dedication.
is. Yeah, I could easily walk outside and do things but again, I have this instructor that I go to his classes and he teaches like a group setting type of class and he works in the army and just it has lived life, experienced lots of shit.
Mhm.
So the things that he talks about, it's like you're working out for your life. Like what if you got stuck in a car on an accident and you had to crawl out of there with your arms because your legs weren't moving and you needed to get out of this car because it was going to explode or whatever. Like he talks about those
Wow.
things. He's like, you need upper body strength. You need lower body strength, like things like that. And if shit hits the fan, I want to make sure that I know what to do. My mind is mentally prepared for ABC.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that takes working out to a whole new level.
exactly. And especially like I'm having another home birth. So mentally, I know I can do this. And the pain is just for a little bit. And it just helps me deal with that and
Yeah,
get prepared for it.
absolutely. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I would love to try something like that. I mean, it sounds intense and it looks intense when you post about it, but when I get
It's so
when
fun.
I get
It's
back
so
to a
fun.
healthier place, I would love
Please
to come with
come.
you.
Yeah, that would
I
be awesome.
yeah.
And it's for everyone. You take it at your
Yeah.
own pace. I'm
Exactly.
pregnant, like I have to modify and that's
Mhm.
okay. I'm not
For
embarrassed or
sure.
ashamed. I feel stronger than ever. Um, yeah, feels great.
Yeah, that's amazing. Speaking of home birth, people had questions about that.
Ooh,
So was Elliot breech?
he was.
Okay. Your community knows you very well because that was part of the question. So can you tell us the birth story? I know you've written about it.
Yeah.
To have it here.
It's written well. It's a very long story, but
Just a brief.
to shorten it, my birth plan was to have our first little boy in a water, in a tub filled with water and lavender oil and all this beautiful music playing, this dream I had, and everything throughout my whole pregnancy went really well. And then I got hit at 38 weeks with, oh my gosh, your baby flipped. You have to have a C-section. And I was like, wait a minute. What? Like, can you give me another option? What are ways that we can do this and not have a C-section? Can he be flipped? Can we wait? All these questions. Actually, I found out at 37 weeks, not 38 weeks. So 37 weeks. And I was going to South Coast Midwifery at the time. They were just like, yeah, we can't do anything about it because it's illegal for midwives to birth a breech baby or, be there for the labor. And so my doula, luckily, my doula Ruby Stocking, which she's an amazing friend and now doula, she gave me options when the people that I was going to weren't very proactive about this. And she was like, don't freak out. Like, I know the specialist and he's a legend. And if he can take you, he will. So don't freak out. There are other ways to go around it. And we contacted this guy named Dr. Fishbein, Dr. Stu Fishbein. And he is one out of two people that specialize in breech and twin births naturally at home. And I did not want a home birth. I was like, no, what if something goes wrong? What if this? What if that? I mean, there's so many thoughts. It's my first baby. I wanted to have him at a birth center, but that was just no longer the case. And I went to his office. We did an ultrasound. We made sure that, Elliot was in perfect frank breech position and I had enough amniotic fluid and he was a certain size. And if I was even capable of being able to have a home breech birth. So we definitely made sure everything was in line before he even took us. And he said, this is like the perfect situation and you can do this, but you have to be okay with this process. And I said, yeah, let's do it. A week later, Elliot came and I had him at home, breech, no meds, no nothing. And it was
wow,
an experience. I wish I could go back to that day because it was so humbling and just raw. It was awful, but it was just our bodies were meant to do this. And just to be able to have the option and the resources to be able to do this was something that I will never forget. And I'm so thankful for that because moms don't get those options. A lot of moms don't get, they're just told that they have to do it this way. And, for pregnant moms that are out there with different types of things going on with them, there are options. You just have to go and read and look. And if there isn't, then there isn't. But this wasn't my birth plan, but it just happened to be what it was. And again, I was very grateful to be able to give life to a healthy breech baby at our house.
Yeah.
And our neighbors did not hear a thing.
No way.
Which I was shocked because I was yelling like no other.
Totally shocking.
Yeah.
That's such a cool story. And I love that you're telling it here because
thank you.
It's just whether it comes to birth or anything else, it's so important to be your own health advocate.
Yeah.
And if a doctor or a group of doctors tells you this is impossible for you, you have to go this one route. It's not always the case.
No.
And I've had a lot of those situations myself as well, where someone just tells you this is what you have. This is the situation. So this is what the outcome's going to look like. But you can always question that. You can always get a second, a third, a fourth opinion, and your intuition knows. what you're
Yeah.
capable of.
I mean, my intuition just knew. And again, this specialist is an actual OB. He's a doctor. He just specializes in this thing because
Right.
he's one of the very few that still practices breech home birth.
Well, that's a very cool story and
Thank
really
you.
inspiring to people out there who are either soon to be in that position or one day going to be in that position.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very
very
cool.
hard, but my advice is to not stress and to look at your options because there
Hmm.
are options.
Yeah. And you said that you're going to be doing another home birth.
Yes. Yeah, we just found out that I have a heart-shaped uterus, so this baby might be another breech baby.
No way. A
Yeah.
heart-shaped uterus.
Yeah,
That's
isn't that crazy?
cute. Yeah. I like
It's
that.
very common.
It
So
is?
I posted it on stories and people have already been commenting like, "I have one
Oh, no
too."
way.
Yeah,
I
so
love picturing the uterus as a heart.
I know.
But
Well, we
that
saw it and
yeah,
there's definitely like a 2 little horns and yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, but again, it's like breech birth was all I know or is all I
Mhm.
know. So if I have another one, it's gonna be like just the first time.
Right, and you have
My new normal.
yeah, it's your normal for you, and you have the doctor, you have it all in place.
Yep, doctor,
That's
midwife, doula, and
so
AJ.
awesome. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of AJ, everyone wants to know,
How did
how
we
did
meet?
you meet?
We met at a local church we used to go to, and he used to sing on the worship team. And I would go up to him and say, "Hey," I definitely initiated because I thought he was different and I thought he was attractive and I just loved the way he sang and it's something about him that just drew me to him. And sure enough, I slid into his DMs when Facebook was a thing. I mean, I feel like it is still a
It is
thing,
still yeah, for some.
but yeah, I basically told him what was good and we just became really, really, really good friends. And then it led us to this.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's so cool,
Thank
and
you.
you said, "I love you" first.
Yes, I told him I love you 9 months before he told me.
Wow.
But I knew. I knew what we
Mhm.
had, and he didn't have to
Mhm.
tell me. I'm not that girl that's
Exactly.
like, "I need you to tell me," or like we were never boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
We literally I knew where we were, and I was always confident in our relationship because he made me feel secure. I mean, it was just so organic how it happened.
I love
And
it.
when he told me he loved me back, it was January 1st. I don't remember the year, but he was like, "Hey, I love you too. And what do you think about getting married this year?" And I was like, "Let's do it." May we got engaged, November we got married. And then December of the year after, we had Ellie.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Wow. I love the way that all went down, and it is
it's our
so
story.
organic. It's such a good
Yeah.
story. I too said I love you first to Jonathan, and he was mad actually, like mad because he was planning on saying it to me and he felt like
You beat him to
I
it.
beat him. Yeah, and that I was just like couldn't wait any longer, which is true. I felt it and I remember talking to a friend of mine, Laura, and she's like, "So do you love him?" And similar to you guys, we had been friends for years and then we started dating.
Yeah,
And so it didn't take long for me to feel
right.
madly in love with him.
And when you know, you know. I mean, I'm sure
Mhm.
you have that feeling since you are engaged.
Oh, when you know, you know. And he
Yeah,
knew too, but I mean, it was scary to him. He hadn't really been in a
yeah.
relationship in 10 years. And so we were just like laying on the carpet in my old apartment. And I was like, "I love you." I just said it really fast. And he said, "What?" Because he did not hear me. And
You're like,
I
"Nothing."
said, "I love you." And he was like, he did say, "I love you too," but then he was like, "Man, I'm so mad at you." Like, I wanted to say it, and then I said it just like you're saying, it doesn't matter. Like, we both knew that we both have known that we
Yeah.
love each other, and whether you say it first, I say it first, whatever, I'm gonna love you for the rest of my life, so
That's so cute. I
Yeah,
love that.
it's cool.
And it's such a new normal now where women do get to speak up and share their feelings rather than just hide them and hope that they get that from their man. And it's like, no, you have a voice. We can speak up and say, "Hey, this is what I'm feeling." And I feel
Exactly.
like I mean, I definitely learned that along the way. I was never a very outspoken, but with him, I just felt like I could talk. I could
Mhm.
say the things that I felt, and it just felt again very organic. So I said it.
That's so special. You wanna be with someone where you feel comfortable saying
Yeah.
whatever is on your mind.
Right.
So that's a really, really good tip. And it's true. Many years ago, it was definitely like the man makes the first move. The man
Right.
says, I love you. It doesn't have to be that
There are
way
no
anymore.
rules. There
But
are
there are
no
never any rules to
rules.
the point where Jonathan was like, you better not propose to me because, like, I want to do that. And I'm like,
Oh
don't worry.
man.
Wasn't planning on that one. But there literally aren't any rules. And when it comes
No.
to our wedding, like, we're not following any rules. I have 4 maids of honor. Like, I just don't want to do anything
Girl,
normal
I didn't
because
even have any. We didn't have a like a bridal party or
right.
anything. We didn't, we had just paid off our debt and going into, married life, we didn't want any debt. So we didn't want to spend a lot of money on a wedding. So we had a very small 45-person wedding with literally pizza, popcorn from Trader Joe's, and a salad that I had made from home. It was
Love.
very small and it was very special and intimate.
That's
So,
so special. So, you guys know that I'm completely obsessed with Silver Fern. Everything from their probiotics to their digestive enzymes to their plant based protein powders to everything in between. Before I keep going, I'll tell you that you can use the code BLONDE at checkout to get a big discount at silverfernbrand.com. I'm so excited because when my parents visited me a couple days ago at my water fast here in NorCal, I convinced my mom and dad to order the probiotic, the digestive enzyme, and the plant based chocolate protein powder so that they can start making smoothies in the morning and not always turn to the heavier breakfast that they might sometimes have. And there's nothing wrong with that either, just balance for both. I'm so excited for them to try them. My dad has digestive issues, so having a probiotic and a digestive enzyme are pretty much non negotiable for him. But they're new to him because he's in his 70s. So I'm so excited, or not because he's in his 70s, but he just hasn't changed his routine in a long time. So all their products are non GMO, totally natural, free of anything artificial, and they're superior quality. So, what makes them really different is that their probiotics can actually survive in the gut, which is very uncommon for probiotics, even some of the fancy ones out there that you will find. And if you want to learn more about why that is, then listen to episode 106 of this show with Charity Lighton, the founder and CEO of Silver Fern. She's incredible. Her story is amazing. So, yes, episode 106 there. Silver Fern and I have lots of fun stuff coming up this year. So, be sure to check that out when it happens. I'm so excited. So, if you have any gut issues or if you're just looking for a yummy protein powder, then head to silverfernbrand.com. Use the code BLONDE at checkout and enjoy. Now, let's head back into this episode with Jeannette. I mean, I have to tell you, like, we are having a bigger wedding and I've had so many thoughts. I mean, I'm confident that, like, we're doing what we're meant to be doing, like, everything
yeah,
happens for a reason.
absolutely.
I've had so many thoughts, though, of how special a small wedding would be, and we
Either
had
way, it's your big day and you'll
yeah.
have, a
I mean, yes,
memorable.
and we'll have lots of, like, intimate time with our family and, like,
Mhm.
our very closest friends. but we had our engagement party and it felt very large to me. And I'm like, oh, our wedding is bigger than this. Like, okay, but I love the way that you guys did it. And again, there's no rules. Like,
Yeah,
it's
no
whatever works
rules.
for everybody, for each couple, etc. I
Yeah.
love your story.
Thank you.
So, another question from people: what are your tips for finding your voice in the wellness world?
I think not falling for every trend or article that you read or see. I definitely see this a lot on Instagram where, I know you're big on the celery juice thing. People ask me all the time, like, hey, do you drink celery juice? Should I be drinking it? And I'm like, well, I'm definitely like, I don't know your health history. I don't know if you should be taking it or not. And I just don't like to give like medical advice to anyone because I'm nobody. I do my own research for my own body and my family. And that's kind of all I've got. A lot of people, you know, struggle with certain things, take antibiotics, or some people don't. But like either way, I don't know the lifestyle that they're leading, and I just don't feel comfortable, and nor should I, giving that sort of advice. And I think nowadays, a lot of like influencers are doctors, and they're really not. I think that you need to just be doing your own research for your body and seeing what feels right, like trial and error. For me, it's been trial and error. Like, let me try these certain things. The one thing that I did get into was potions, herbs. I love Chinese medicine. I do. I feel like it works for my body. Acupuncture cupping has done wonders for my stress and anxiety. And, you know, going to the chiropractor, getting adjusted, and doing all the things that we were talking about before when I
Yeah.
first got here. And herbs is something that again were helpful, stabilizing some of my hormones and helping me deal with anxiety after having Elliot. But again, when people ask me, is it safe for breastfeeding? Is it safe during pregnancy? Like, I mean, I've read the bad and the good, and I make my own decisions based on what feels right for me. Of course, with me speaking to my midwives and, my OB, he's awesome. He's very much like a midwife. So we just kind of feel it out. But I think finding your voice is literally finding yourself and where you're at in your health journey and doing you, not just following, oh, well, I heard that so and so is doing this and they have great skin. So I'm going to
Mhm.
do it too. It's like, no, it stems from the gut, first of all, and you need to go from there. That's what I
Yes,
believe.
yes, for sure. That is such a good tip and
Thank
just
you.
so important for everyone listening, following people on Instagram. Like, nobody else can really tell you if this is going to
No,
work for you
right.
or if this is going to be the best for you at this time in your life. We can just share what's working for us and hope that it lands with the people that it's meant
Yeah,
to land with. And then everything is meant to be taken with a grain of salt.
exactly.
Yeah, something that I've been so inspired by is when you shared your eating disorder journey and recovery on Instagram. So, for people who are also struggling, what would be your biggest tips for finding a healthy balance and recovery from an eating disorder?
This is a hard one as well to talk about just because I remember being in the position where I was heavily in my disordered eating phase and wanting to try veganism because all the girls on Instagram were very skinny and looked healthy, and or other ones that were doing paleo, or other ones that were just, eating calorie counting. So like the bodybuilders with the broccoli, the rice, chicken, like
Mhm.
every day. And I tried everything and nothing worked. And I realized that it's not about food. It's not about what you put in your body. It was literally your mind, my mind at least. Knowing and understanding why I had these thoughts of why am I wanting to eat? Why am I wanting to eat all day and not feel full? Why, like, what are my triggers? What is this? What is that? And going somewhere and talking out loud about it because I would hide everything to myself. I wouldn't even eat with anyone because I felt embarrassed by, you know, I had to pull out my measuring cups and measure everything. And I felt embarrassed, so I wouldn't eat in front of anyone, and I would just hide everything from to myself in my room. And so I knew that that was wrong and I needed to talk about it. So going to like an AA meeting, but with others that just didn't know me and talk about these addictions. And most of them had drug or alcohol addictions, and mine was food, but they're all addiction. It's an addiction's addiction. And saying it out loud made it just more like, okay, uh, I have a problem and I need to work on it. But it's not about, oh, I need to get on this diet to work on it. Oh, I need to get on this juice cleanse to work on it. It was literally getting my mind strong and getting my mind to a place where I was just comfortable and confident within myself and not having to do all these other things that other people were doing. Because social media can do that to you. It's very deteriorating to someone's mind, especially when they're struggling with addiction, with, loss, with stress, anxiety, like comparison. I mean, there's so many things that social media can do that's very damaging.
Yes.
And, especially for young girls and boys and just young minds. So to me, the first number one is mental health. That's number one. And then number two, go and talk about it. Don't hide. People struggle with shit all the time, and you're not alone. That's definitely the two biggest tips. And a lot of the times we as humans feel alone because we can't talk about our feelings. We can't talk about this because society has us thinking that everything should be perfect and everyone should look a certain way or, do certain things a certain way. And that's not right. Individuality is where it's at to me, and helping others and not judging, not coming from a place of, no, Jordan, you got to do this way because I do it. No, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
So to me, those are two number one or two things that two number ones.
Two number ones. That sounds just like me. I'm always like, if given the option to choose one thing, I'll choose 5. But
Same.
yeah, those are such good tips. And your story is so inspiring. And I love that you've shared it with your community on
Thank you.
Instagram, because a lot of people don't talk about the harder stuff.
No.
And it's nice to be honest. And that's true. That's true community building and like what you believe in with building your brand. Just being honest and being open, and you've come so far, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Was it hard to share that side of your life?
It was, because again, I don't want to sound or have the same voice as my neighbor or anyone else. And I also was kind of scared because I'm not a doctor. This is my journey and I'm only sharing it. So when I open up about things, people will ask like, hey, can I talk to you about this? And I mean, you can, but I can't give you professional help. I wish I could. I wish I was certified in all of the things so I can help everyone. I could only, be an encouragement and hope to these people, because so many women and men go through this and no one wants to talk about it. Everyone wants to hide behind their screen and just make it seem like they're having a great day or have the best relationships, have the best life because they're traveling out in the world and doing this and that. And that's just not how life is.
Totally.
There's so many struggles, and that's okay. That's real life. We should promote that as being, like the normal, because it is.
It is.
And it's all about figuring it out, and you don't have to do it alone.
No, not at all. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think you give people such space to be open about what they're going through.
Right.
Because they're so inspired by
every
your
story
openness.
is valid.
Yeah, every story. And it's all relative is what I tell people, because people will be like, well, compared to what you're going through with your health, it's nothing. And I'm like, no, it's all relative. Whatever you're going through means so much to you. Absolutely. So people have so many other great questions for you. So we'll have to have you back on. But I love this one. I'm just going to pick a couple favorites. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
With my babies and husband, and just living life like normal people, whatever that means.
Yeah.
I honestly take it day by day.
Love it.
I do. And I'm grateful for each day that I'm given. And I just pray for like health and wellness and us and love because I didn't grow up with that. So I just think every day is such a blessing. So I don't know where I'll be in 5 years, but I know that I hope to be, content, filled with happiness with my family, because that's what really matters.
It is. It really is what matters.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Do you have any mentors or teachers in your life who you look up to?
I do. My old chiropractor, Dr. Mike, he's amazing. He's taught me so many things and has helped me heal a lot of my gut issues and just health issues, mentally, physically. He's he's amazing. He really is. He's opened my eyes to so many things. AJ is a mentor of mine. He really is, even though he's just my husband.
Just your husband only.
He's an incredible human that just knows how to listen and give such good advice. And I'm just happy to have him on my team.
Yeah, it's so special to have that. It's beautiful. If you were a color, what color do you feel best represents your energy?
Blue.
How come?
I've always loved blue. The ocean, sky. Every time I see the sky and I see like beautiful puffy clouds and like the blue sky, I'm always like, wow, look at the sky. Doesn't it look so beautiful? And people are always like, are you high or something? Like, what?
Same.
And I'm like, no, it's just so beautiful, And I've always loved the ocean. I don't know. I've just always loved blue or black. But I mean, black is like, okay, that's a little.
Maybe for clothing. Yeah. You appreciate the beauty around you.
Yeah.
I love it. So, final question for today, since this is the Soul on Fire podcast, what is your tip for people who are looking to set their souls on fire?
To find your voice and not be afraid to speak out loud with anything that you have in mind.
Beautiful. So, where can people find you if they want to look into everything that is you?
Well, for now, just Instagram, Shut the KALE Up. And in a couple or few months, my blog will be up and running. Shut the KALE Up website. Yeah, I'm very excited about that one.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Can't wait to read your blog.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me again.
Of course. It was time. It was far overdue for an update on your life, for sure.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode with Jeannette. She is so amazing, so down to earth, so real, which is not something that you find in the blogging world all the time these days. I really hope you enjoyed learning more about her and learned some new things about her if you already follow her closely. If you do want to learn more about her history and how she got started blogging and all that good stuff, and listen to our first episode together, which was episode 15 on my podcast 2 years ago. So wild. I really can't wait for you guys to listen to that one if you haven't, and if you loved this one, then you'll just get more of her backstory. So thank you also to our sponsors for today's episode. We have the amazing Gem Real Food Vitamin. We have Med CBD, and we have the amazing Silver Fern. So check out all the deals that you can get with those brands in the show notes. And I apologize, my voice is totally going. I'm recording this at my water fast because somehow my other outro and my ads before I left didn't save. Something happened. So here we are, an update on my water fast. If you're interested, is that I'm on day 5, feeling pretty good. I had some crazy detox happening just a couple days ago. My voice is totally going just because I don't have a ton of energy, but I am going to do a whole recap episode on this water fast that I'm doing for Lyme when I get back. I also have 2 blog posts on thebalancedblonde.com, 2 of the most recent blog posts talking about water fasting, why I'm doing it, why it's good for chronic illness, etc. So check those out if you'd like to learn and ask me any questions you want and I'll add them into the solo podcast that I do. Just a reminder, if you rate and review this podcast on iTunes and send me a screenshot to jordan@thebalancedblonde.com, then I will send you my Soul on Fire yoga ebook, 400 pages, total goodness, so much fun, just as a thank you for taking the time to rate and review the show. Wow. Okay, you guys know I love to talk, but I probably should stop because my voice is just not wanting to come out right now. So on that note, have an amazing, fabulous Soul on Fire day. Join our Soul on Fire podcast tribe on Facebook. Thank you to Jeannette. Check her out at Shut the Kale Up. And love you guys. Mwah.